In this episode we are going to talk about the HTTP test package. The HTTP test package is a package that can be found directly in the Go standard library, and it's used for HTTP testing. And what I mean by HTTP testing is facilitating us to test HTTP clients and servers in Go. You may already have created or written Go servers and clients. And you may already have had a question on how you can efficiently unit test or end-to-end test HTTP servers and HTTP clients in Go. The HTTP test package is a package that allows us to test the HTTP client and servers in a much more flexible way and easy way. And today we're going to see a couple of examples on how we can do that. The first thing that you have to do is to just go and type go doc HTTP test in your command line, and you will see a description of the package. You will also see the main types that are being exported. And the main types that are being exported are just the response recorder, which is an implementation of the response writer interface, which is used by all of the HTTP handlers in Go. And the second type is the server type, which represents a fake server that can be initialized and can be instantiated and is accepting HTTP connections in the loopback interface in your local machine, your local interface. Today we're going to see a couple of examples because these two types are used within two different specific examples. The first example is a server code, the Go server, and we are going to use the response recorder to test that server. We are going to use that and to pass that into an handler, HTTP handler. And the second example is going to be a client example. It's going to be like an SDK. It's going to be a client, a Go client that issues a request to a remote server and receives back a response. Imagine that that server is not available in your machine, or is not easy to mock, is not easy to test. Then you may want to use the server type from the HTTP server package, HTTP test package in Go. Let's go and check the code first, and let's see how this is all wired up and how the examples look like for us. The first thing that we see is that we have a list of files, and we have client.go, client-test.go, and we have server.go and server-test.go. We also have go mod and go sum for dependency management, but you can ignore that for now. The first thing that we're going to see is the server code. Server.go is just a very simple server, 30 lines of code, and it's a typical HTTP handler that you may already have seen or used. You can check in Go Cafe channel some of the videos around the HTTP servers in Go. It's very easy to understand. An handler has always a response writer and a request coming as parameters, and it's going to write the result of the processing into the response writer, and it's going to read the parameters from the request object. In this case, our server is just a server that takes a string and returns the uppercase version of that string. The way the server is wired up, you can see here in line 29 we have an upper method, so we have a routing into the upper path, and then that is associated with our uppercase handler, and the uppercase handler is going to read everything from the raw query. And so when it reads the information from the raw query, so from the query string, it's going to read the word key, and then it's going to return uppercase version of that. So for example, this can be a request, localhost, the port is 1234, the path is upper, and then we have a query string, so we have word equals to ABC, and the response will be something like ABC. So you have request and response. This is what the server does. It's very basic, and now we want to attempt testing this logic using the HTTP test package. In order to test this handler, what we need is a response writer, because we need to pass some sort of response writer, and we need to pass also a request. Usually the request, you can create the request yourself. It's just a type, it's an exported type, so you can just do HTTP request, curly brackets, and you can initialize the request as you wish. But there is an helper method that we can use to create a request on the go, just by using the HTTP test package. And then the response writer, which is a little bit trickier, because the response writer, if you check the documentation, is an interface, which means that it has a set of methods that you have to implement. You have to know how to implement those methods, and it's going to be quite costly to implement those just to test your handler. And that's when the HTTP test package comes in handy. So the thing that we are going to use now is HTTP test, the new request for mocking and create a fake request object. Again, you can still use initialize the request yourself, but this is just an helper function. And the second one is the new response recorder. New recorder, it's called new recorder, but returns a response recorder. And the response recorder is an implementation of the HTTP response writer. So we already have everything we need. We can just use the response recorder, which is an implementation of the response writer. Then we pass that into our handler. We call the result method, which returns the response. And then we are good to go. We already have everything that we need. So let's also check the go.doc HTTP test response recorder result, and result returns the response generated by the handler. The returned response will have at least its status code, the header and body, and optionally trailer populated. More fields may be populated in the future. So this is all basically a snapshot, as it's called. It's a snapshot of the response that is going to be populated by the handler you pass this response recorder into. So as we said, now what we need to do, we need to create a fake request, and we need to create the recorder, which is a fake response writer. Our request is very easy, just HTTP test, new request. And the first argument is going to be the method, so it's HTTP method get. Then we have a path. You can put whatever you want here because it's not really related to your test. This is just for whenever we are testing, if you are retrieving the path from within the handler itself. But the handler is not aware of the path, so anything will work here. And then the body, which is nil in this case, the request body is nil because it's just a GET request, it's not a POST request. Then we have our response writer, HTTP test new recorder, which is an implementation of HTTP response writer. And then we have uppercase handler, which takes HTTP response writer, which is our recorder, and takes our request. So the handler is going to do all of the job. It's going to process the request, and it's going to return or rather, it's going to write the uppercase to the recorder, to our response, and then we need to check back response. We need to check back the result. We need to check back what's been written. So we just do the file rest of body.close, which we close the body. Then we do data error IOU till we read all of the data, read all from the body. We check if there is any error. If there is any error, we error, the error F. The error to be nil, got. And then once we check the error, we just need to make sure that the data, which is coming in as a byte slice, is going to be equal to what we expect. So we expect ABC, and if this is not the case, then expected ABC got something else, which is a string of data. So we have to pass ABC here. So the first thing, I'm just going to pass AB and see if the test fails. I need to import all of the dependencies. Go test. Let's see. Now everything is working fine. Everything is working fine, but we should get, in this case, we should get the error coming in. And the reason why it's because we have put in a wrong comparison. If the data is not equal to ABC, then we error. So we're just going to run the test again, and we're going to see the expected ABC got AB because we just passed AB into our server. So we just know that now it's working as expected. We just need to pass the proper value. We run it again, and that's going to return OK, which is what we expected. So we just tested the server code, or at least specifically we tested the handler. So now the handler is being tested. We just tested one case. We just tested the API path. We could also test, for example, when we pass an empty word, that we're going to have a missing word error. We're going to have an invalid request if we pass a wrong query string. And that's something that you can extend yourself. You can just add the new test cases. You can use table-driven tests, which I've explained in one of the other videos in the channel about testing. And you can add new test cases just by modifying the request object that's been created. Now, the next case is client testing. So whenever you test a client in Go, we have, let's see the client code. The first thing that we see in the client code is just a client struct. It takes a URL. And then in our case, this client is a client for the server that we have, but it can be a client for anything. It can be a client for a Twitter API or for a Google API or for any external services really that it's not easy for you to test, for you to recreate from scratch. So you may want to make sure that you have a fake server that responds in the way that you expect. So our client takes a URL, then it is going to hit an endpoint with the path /upper. It's going to pass a word there, and it's reading the response, and it's just returning the response. And that's everything it's doing. It's just basically passing that into a path with the upper path, and passing the word, and it's exposing that functionality using this uppercase method within the client. So the way that you would just initialize the client, you pass the server URL, and then you just call uppercase with any word, and that will return the word. Call the server each time and return the word uppercase. So that's what the client does. In order to test that, a way that you can do that, you can pass the actual server URL here, you pass the real server, you start the server, you pass that, and you run the client. But that's not ideal because you cannot always implement more complex servers. Imagine you had a lot of different methods, you had a lot of different behaviors. That wouldn't be easy for you to create a fake server out of the box, or recreate the server that you are trying to test out of the box, like a Twitter APIs. It wouldn't be easy for you to recreate the old Twitter APIs. But by using the HTTP test server type in the HTTP test package, we can just do a very nice thing, which is we can create a fake server that accepts real HTTP connections, and we can have an handler package that is going to return whatever we want. And we're going to see in a moment how that works. The first thing that we're going to do is check the HTTP test new server, returns a server. A new server starts and returns a new server. The caller should call close when finished. So remember that new server also starts the server, so you also need to remember to close it. And then server, which is the exporter type, is just a fake server. It's an HTTP server listening to a system chosen port on the local loopback interface for use in end-to-end HTTP tests. So it's basically a local, real HTTP server that you can use, and you can pass any handler you want, and you make it return anything that you want. And in today's example, we are going to see how that is going to be useful for our client test. The first thing that we're going to do, we are going to create the server, HTTP test, new, create and start the server, new server. And what it takes a handler func, HTTP handler func, which takes a function that is a HTTP response writer, as we all know, and requests. This is the usual signature of a HTTP handler. So it's nothing new. And now we have our custom logic. So for example, in this case, what we're going to do, we're just going to write expected. We're just going to write whatever we expect. So let's say that we want to test this returning just some dummy data. Okay. Because we want to test the behavior of the client. We don't want to test the server in this case. Then we do the fer server.close. And then the next thing that we do, we're going to initialize our client. So new client. We're going to pass the URL. Server is going to generate a unique URL, which is going to be used to connect to this fake server, which is actually real listen to connection, but is a mock server that returns dummy data, as we want here. And then we're just going to call uppercase for any word, anything really. And the response that we're going to get, and the error obviously is if error is not nil, what we're going to do, we are going to t.errorf and we're going to say expected error to be nil, got something else, we check the error, which it shouldn't happen in this case, and then if response is not equal to our expected, then we are going to error as well. Expected response to be our expected case got something else. So expected, and response. Remember that when you receive the response, you're going to have whenever you receive the response, you're going to have some new lines attached to it, especially when you use the handler func and the HTTP handlers. So whenever you write something to the wire for the HTTP protocol, they're going to append. It's going to be append new lines. So if you want to accurately compare the data that you expect, you should just trim extra space at the end, at the beginning, at the end of the text. So you can just do something like res equal to string space res, which is just gonna clean up the response in our case, because the response is going to be something like expected, something like this. So clean up response, and this happens every time you write something to the wire in an HTTP protocol. It's just due to the HTTP protocol, cleanup response. And then we just import everything, and that's everything that we need to do. Now we just run test. Let's see if we get anything out of that, and we see that everything is passing now. So something that I wanted to underline was the server.url, for example. Base URL, which is generated whenever the server is started. It doesn't specify here, but this is the server, the URL that's generated once the server is started. Is going to be unique for each time you instantiate a new server. And you can see here there are a bunch of other methods if you want to use TLS, or if you want to start the server, if you want to create the server and start it afterwards, so you can just do new unstarted server. But that's pretty much all of the things that you have to keep in mind. So just to recap, we have the response recorder, which is used to test HTTP handlers from a server-side perspective. It's going to record all of the data that you write to a response writer. And then there is the server type in the HTTP test package, which counterintuitively is not used for testing servers, but it's used for testing clients, because it creates a fake server to which your subject under test, which is your Go client, can connect to and can then generate. You can then generate any type of data. As an advice, I would say that you can try implement further tests on top of our scenarios. So, for example, for this handler, you can try implement another test case where you pass an empty word, and you will gonna receive a error telling that it's an empty word. Same goes for the other example, which if you look at the client, we didn't test the error case. So if you pass for example, here in your server, if you return an error, this will return an error in the client itself, uppercase, we return an error. And so that's another test case that you can test yourself. So I would challenge yourself to just try implement the new test cases, and just let me know in the comments below what you think about that, if you liked the implementation and the tutorial today. Thanks for watching, and see you the next time.